I don't care what you think you discussed, this paving is unauthorized.
Section 3, subsection B clearly states.
I filed the request 2 months ago. The approval is right here in the folder.
The first thing I heard was the beep, beep, beep of a truck in reverse and the smell of hot asphalt pouring through my bedroom window. It was freezing outside. My phone said 6:12 a.m., and yellow hazard lights were flashing through my blinds like a police raid. I threw on a hoodie, stepped onto my front porch in bare feet, and just stared. A crew was laying fresh blacktop right across the end of our Cul De Sac, cutting into my grass and over the little strip where my kids' chalk drawings usually go. The HOA president, Karen in a neon safety vest she did not need, stood there with a clipboard like she owned the street and my front yard with it. My coffee went cold in my hand while my property line vanished under a layer of tar. That morning turned into the story of HOA paved a new turn in our Cul De Sac without a permit. Then I pulled the title search. Even though I didn't know it yet, I walked over, heart pounding, and asked the foreman if they had a city permit. He shrugged and pointed at Karen. She smiled and said the board voted. This was a safety improvement, and I should be thanking them. I told her that strip was on my survey. She waved her hand and said common area, don't worry about it. By 9:00 a.m., I had emailed the board, called the HOA office, and even tried to talk to neighbors walking their dogs. They glanced at Karen, then at me, and suddenly everyone had somewhere else to be. The next day, a bright orange violation notice showed up on my door for interfering with a community project and recording workers without permission. My favorite part was the line about possible fines up to $200 a day. That was when I realized our little war had started way before the asphalt. Timeline item 1, April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. Karen had called the police on me for walking my own dog past her house because my flashlight was suspicious. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. I wrote that sentence on a sticky note and slapped it on my fridge. I was done being the quiet neighbor. No slash tires. No screaming. I promised myself I would stay inside the lines and use every proper channel they pretended to respect. So I went to the channels they actually feared. First stop was City Hall. I took a number, sat under buzzing lights, and asked the clerk to check for any street work permits on our subdivision. She typed, frowned, typed again, and said there were none. 0. She tilted the screen so I could see. My heart did this weird little happy jump. Next, I drove to the county records office and asked for the subdivision plat and all amendments. The clerk rolled a card over, and the file landed with 63 pages. That was my public records moment. I flipped through maps, highlighter marks on my fingers, until I saw it, the curve of our Cul De Sac, the lot lines, and a tiny note that the strip they just paved belonged to my lot and a city utility easement. Not the HOA, not common area, mine and the city's. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder, added copies of the plat and my deed, and called the city inspector. Karen set up a grand reveal for the weekend. Flyers on every door. New safety turn opening ceremony Saturday 9:00 a.m. free donuts. She even rented one of those cheap red ribbons. You could almost taste how badly she wanted applause. I just circled the date in red and texted my neighbors, keep Saturday open. You'll want to see this. When the morning came, the air smelled like sugar and asphalt. Kids ran around with powdered donuts. Neighbors clustered in little circles, phones already out. Karen stepped into the middle of the new turn with giant scissors, doing her best mayor impression. That's when the white city truck rolled in behind her, and the inspector climbed out with my binder under his arm. He asked who authorized the work. Karen lifted her chin and said the board did. He asked for the permit number. She froze. No one answered. The inspector opened my binder on the hood of his truck and tapped the plat. This turn, he said calmly, is on private property and a city easement. The HOA cannot pave this without a permit from the city and written permission from the owner. The owner is standing right here. My neighbors literally gasped. Someone whispered, "Oh, she's done." Phones came up even higher. The inspector explained, loud enough for every recording, that the HOA was in violation and faced a fine of $3,500 plus the cost to remove the illegal pavement. Karen's face went from tan to blotchy red while kids giggled because the fancy scissors were still in her hand. BY Monday. The neighborhood group chat was flaming. Clips of the inspector shutting Karen down hit local Facebook groups and even a Reddit thread. People counted 7 past complaints, 9 bogus violation letters, 1 illegal road. The board held an emergency meeting. For once, they couldn't hide it. The city sent a formal letter, the one where they bolded remove all unpermitted work within 30 days. The board voted Karen out as president that same night. She tried to blame the contractor, the clerk, even me, but the video of her bragging about the project with no permit was already everywhere. The new turn was jackhammered back out a week later. They paid to rebuild my sprinklers, resod my lawn, and plant a young maple tree where the asphalt scar used to be. On May 3rd, 2024, we threw a little block party right there in the Cul De Sac. Kids drew chalk borders where my property line really was, and my quiet neighbor Mike patted my shoulder and said, "Good thing you like paperwork more than drama." Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.